Oh, I'm live. Hi, everyone. Thanks for hopping on. I'm so excited. Usually, I'm used to doing YouTube live or live streams for my Patreon channel, but this is fun. So I hope, can you guys all see me and hear me? Oh, good. Okay, I can see everyone. Hi, Laura. Oh, Canada. Hi, guys. Yeah, so I'm here to talk about my new book. Oh, there we go. There's a little bit of a lag time. Okay, I'm learning. I usually do this on Patreon, but never on YouTube. Oh, there's so many of you. Hi, everyone. Roger, Wendy. Oh, good. Okay, you can hear me. Oh, there's a Megan too. A Megan from Ireland. Megan is an Irish name too. Hi, guys. Okay, yeah. So I'm here to talk about my book, my new book, Welcome to the Future. I don't know if you guys, some of you it looks like in the chat have read it. Some of you guys have not. I was super excited when I released it last week, and then I woke up and it was a bestseller. So thanks to everyone who bought it. Hello. Oh gosh, there's so many. Hi, guys. Yeah, so the book is available on Amazon, and the link is in the description. But I'm also working on it. Should be available Barnes & Noble next week. And then I'm also looking, there's people who have offered to translate it for me. So currently it's being translated in Portuguese. So that's very nice. Someone offered to do that in a couple other languages. And I want to get it translated to Spanish too. So hopefully I can get that done as well so everyone can read it. And so, yeah, so it's on Amazon and it's also on Kindle. So you can get it on Kindle as well. And what was weird is that Amazon was blocking it in some countries, Australia and Canada, which is odd countries to block the book. But if you download Proton VPN and change your location, then it might work and they might let you order it that way. Otherwise, it'll be on Barnes & Noble this week. Hey, Pat. Oh, good. Some of you got a copy. It's not on Audible, I don't think. Not on Audible yet. Do you guys like audiobooks? I didn't know people liked audiobooks. I'll have to look into that. Someone says they hate us Aussies. Aw. Yeah, and some people did get it in Australia, and then in certain sections of Australia couldn't get it, so it's kind of weird. Yeah, so the book is, and this is not an actual picture of Valnek, my contact in the Federation, but he looks like that, very close. And it's about my abduction story. So when I was abducted at ages 5 and 9, and when I was rescued, and I talk about my implant placement, which is a high density implant that I use for telepathy to contact my protector, my rescuer in the Federation, who is Valnek, Commander Valnek. So I talk about my implant placement. There is some confusion of whether it is AI, and it's not artificial intelligence. This is a common technology used in the Federation. It's a higher frequency, higher density, and it's used for communication, sending a communication back and forth using telepathy. So the rest of the book is basically actually written by Valnek, the intel that he gave me. It doesn't have anything to do with channeling or my psychic abilities. It was written with him. And yes, so it's about the war. It kind of explains the Galactic War, the invasion of planet Earth, and why the Federation, the Galactic Federation intervened or decided to help us. And basically the reason is because the humans were invaded by malevolent extraterrestrials, the Orions and the reptilians, and we needed help. We needed help. We couldn't defeat them on our own. They have better technology than us. And so in the interest of balance, the Federation's duty and responsibility was to help remove the malevolent extraterrestrial presence because they have come here and interfered with our evolution, and they have done so. The war is over. Oh, thank you for the super chats. That's so sweet. Oh, thank you. When will it be available at Barnes & Noble? Very, very soon. I'm just in the final stages of finishing it. So it should be there actually probably this week. It won't even take this week. But so yeah, the war is over. The undergrounds are cleared. There may be like some pockets of random extraterrestrials that couldn't escape through portals, but they're not part of a military faction anymore, and they're of no threat to us. So basically, you know, it's time for us to stand together and take out the bad humans who partnered with the malevolent ET military. So that's what we're gonna do. Apparently, we still need help. Okay. So someone said, apparently we still need help because people are just so brainwashed. Right. Well, we can help each other, right? So what the Federation has done is removed all of the mind control frequencies and the mind control technology, right? So now we have the opportunity to unbrainwash ourselves or wake each other up, spread truth and spread love. And you can't wake people up by arguing with them. Then you match their frequency and they pretty much are not going to listen to you, right? So you just speak your truth and you keep it moving, and that's what we have to do. That's it. So the Federation has done their part. It's our job to help each other, which is the whole point of unity and coming together as one collective, one humanity. Yes. Deborah said Galactic Federation did their part. Greg says, has the Galactic Federation left our solar system? No. No, they have not. They're still helping. They're like big brothers and big sisters now, still consulting, helping the human military, helping train the human military how to fly ships and stuff like that. And they're still making sure that the the Starfleet and all the advanced technology is being manufactured correctly. So yeah, so super exciting. Super exciting. Oh, someone asked about the yeah, I talk about, I see a couple questions in the chat about the Envoy program. Yeah, I did talk about the Envoy program and about how the Federation and the Council of Five changes the genetics so that the soul from a different planet can incarnate here to help. So there's a lot about the Envoy program and how it works in the book as well. So, which I know you guys will love because some of you feel like you don't belong here. So yeah. Oh, someone says, yes, so I don't want to trigger the algorithm, so I'll try not to say too much, but this movement I did talk about in my book. And it is in there, and I don't want to trigger the algorithm, but it's why I priced it for $17 on Amazon. And it talks about the Federation and the Andromedan Council's involvement with that movement. And basically, there's quantum technology that was used to help create one positive timeline for the entire galaxy. Because the reason that they intervened in the first place is because if planet Earth, the moon, and Mars is all taken over by reptilians and greys, creates this this dark military force that would affect the rest of the galaxy, right? So that's also why the Federation intervened on behalf of all of the solar system. So it was used, the quantum technology was used to create one positive timeline for all of the galaxy. And it also has to do with the little people. I don't want to trigger the algorithm, so try and read between the lines, but the little people and rearranging things, how you can kind of predict the future using that technology. So yeah, it's a great question. Old Lady Patriot says, are the Draconians gone? Yeah, they're off. They're completely off the moon, Mars, planet Earth. There may be some hiding around that weren't able to escape, but they're not part of a military force that can harm us. So they're not really a threat. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you, guys. I'm glad you liked the book. Let me see. Oh, someone said hit the like button for Megan. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, this is a great question. Okay, Andrea says, when you talk about countries and agreements in your book, it's not necessarily the official leaders we know from TV, right? Yes. No, it's not. It's what we call the white hats, or the leaders that are part of the Earth Alliance. So the leaders who are basically working for the greater good and who have partnered with the Galactic Federation. So those were the countries that made agreements. I talk about the Jupiter agreements, which the Jupiter agreements were a set of agreements that were made because the war at that time was almost over and they were planning for the end of the war. And they needed to decide how to basically all of the space programs for different countries, secret space programs, how they were going to come together and defend the planet from future invasion, and how they were going to organize themselves in space. So that's what the Jupiter agreements, it was the white hats, which are part of the Earth Alliance, and the Galactic Federation, how to organize. And also, the only reason that corporations were involved is to make agreements to manufacture technology to defend us in space. So that's the only reason why they were there, is just because they need to manufacture the technology, and those are the people that we have on Earth to do it. So the Federation can't gift us technology. It goes against the law of non-intervention, but they can, it goes against their prime directive, but they can give it to the humans to develop so we can defend ourselves. So that's what, yeah, it was not evil cabal who were invited. No. Okay. So many people tuning in. I didn't expect this many. How nice. How nice. Someone says, hi, read your book in a day. Thank you for the great info. Oh, you're welcome. It's a short book, and the reason why is, one, I'm not a long-winded person. And you can tell that by like my 10-minute videos that I post. I'm just not long-winded. But the book is short. I'll show it to you. The book is short is on purpose because I want everyone to read it so that we can't be manipulated again, and so that everyone has time to read it and it won't take you that long. And it's basically just full of the information that I've received. And so, yeah, so it's not long of a book, so you can basically read it in one day. Oh, someone asked a good question. What stops our military government from using this technology against the citizens of Earth? Yeah, that's a good question. So they've been binded by a contract, binded by agreements made that I talk about in the book, the Jupiter agreements. So there's strict agreements of when you sign a contract with someone. This is the other thing I'll mention about the corporations. It's actually a good thing that these billionaires signed this contract, because when you're a billionaire, money talks, right? You can do whatever the F you want, basically, on planet Earth. But when you're a billionaire and you sign a contract, it binds you from what you can or cannot do, right? So it's a binding agreement. And the consequences of those agreements, we cannot say, but there are consequences. So they're all binded by the contract and monitored by the Galactic Federation. So, and mind you, the Federation has Earth's humans, our best interests at heart, because I'm sure they don't want to clean up the mess again, right? All the sacrifices that they made fighting this war for us. Oh, thank you guys for the super chats. Okay, someone asked who the Galactic Fed is. Okay, the Galactic Federation of Worlds. Okay, so the Galactic Federation of Worlds is a military force in this galaxy, and it's benevolent, a bunch of benevolent races from different planets who have come together and federated themselves to work for peace and balance in this galaxy. So they are military. They aren't spirit guides. There's been a lot of counterintelligence trying to paint the Galactic Federation or the Galactic Federation of Light, which some people use the terms interchangeably, which is fine. But there's been counterintelligence trying to paint the Galactic Federation as spirit guides, channel information. And they're not. They don't. The baddies don't want anyone to know what the Galactic Federation of Worlds really is. You know, because when humans join the Galactic Federation of Worlds, it's all over. But it's also another lie. So we can't figure out the truth, and it keeps us out of our power. You know, out of our power. They don't want us to know that there's a benevolent alien military force, because we might ask for their help, right? We got their help. Look what happened. They were kicked off. Okay, this is a great question. I won't read it out loud because I don't want to trigger the algorithm. I talk about that in the book, the responsibility of shutting off certain satellites that would affect people, with that. And that is their responsibility, or that's as far as they can intervene. The rest of it is up to us, to the good humans, the Earth Alliance, and the rest of the humans to stand up for ourselves and stand up for our rights, because they're not here to save us. They're just here to help us, and we have to do our part too. So that's a good question that they have. I wrote about it in the book, and I don't want to trigger the algorithm too much, but they've done their part to disable the technology that would have harmed us from that. Oh, someone said, have all the people abducted been rescued that you know of? No. No, they've abducted people, little people. I was little when I was abducted, and not everyone could be rescued, right? So that's why I dedicated my book to all of the children who have been abused, abducted, all of them. No, they use us as food sometimes for genetic experiments, to make super soldiers. So not everyone could be rescued. You know, but it's all changing. And that's why I wrote the book too, so that knowledge is power, so that we all learn this information, so that it won't happen again. It won't happen to the children again. Oh, someone made a great point. She always has the best comments too. I always read your comments. Thank you for all your comments. Generation Ascension says the easiest way to understand the Galactic Federation of Worlds has been to just watch Star Trek, the series. It was brought to Gene by the Council of Night to help humans wake up to the truth. Yes, so it's like Star Trek. Star Trek was disclosure to help us kind of understand what the Galactic Federation is, so we would be ready one day. And what's super exciting is now it's come. Today's the day. So they're a military, they're real people. We just can't see them because we're in a lower density. We just can't see them. Okay. Okay, this is a great question. Is the Galactic Federation of Light a psyop? You know, some people might be with the Galactic Federation, and they may be calling it the Galactic Federation of Light because they don't know any better. But after a period of time, I would think that that person that they're in contact with in the Federation would tell them the real name. So maybe, can I say everyone that's channeling the Galactic Federation of Light is a psyop? No, but there is a psyop created that is called the Galactic Federation of Light that is being used or being channeled through channelers who don't know. And that's why I talked about the black goo, how artificial intelligence hooks onto the trauma and the subconscious. And then when you channel, you're channeling actually from the subconscious, and it could just be AI or artificial consciousness. Oh, thank you. I'd like to know, did you draw the pictures in the book by remote viewing? Oh, there's so many questions. Okay, this was Alex's question. No, because that's from my own memory. So I just have the memory of it and I can draw it, you know? So it wasn't used by, nothing in the book has anything to do with my psychic skills, which is why I talk about the implant that was placed. And it basically, it looks like, okay, I don't have like a chip in my brain. It's just it looks like a frequency, like a light, and it's in the shape, and it just helps the brain waves hook onto that frequency and open up a channel for communication. And it works by resonance from my implant to Valnek's implant. It's high density, high frequency technology, which we don't know about. We haven't been told about, right? So it's a new concept to most people. So I understand most people are afraid, but yeah, that's how I wrote the book with Valnek and how I received my intel. Oh, there's so many questions. Okay. Yeah, there's so many live viewers. I'm shocked. I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised. Someone says, do you know where the lizards went? I know that some of them went to other systems to gain allies to come back to, in an attempt. I think some of their intention might be to come back to planet Earth to gain allies, which is why they are rapidly manufacturing a Starfleet and training the human military so that we can defend ourselves against a possible future invasion. Some of them, I think, are probably still hanging around that couldn't escape. And I think a large part of them also weren't welcome back to their headquarters because they were considered like losers. So I don't know. I haven't followed them, but that's the little bit that I know about where they went. Oh, Sharon. I knew Sharon would. Sharon is always on my live streams, and she's always sending me funny stuff on Instagram. Thank you, Sharon. Someone says, future invasion, we will kick some butt. Yes, and I wrote about that in the book too, about all of the high density and the advanced technology that's being manufactured. So that's part of why I named it Welcome to the Future. So yeah, imagine that, the lizard people getting some bullying back home. Oh, that's funny. Okay. If Patricia says, if time is an illusion and we are the creators of our own reality, why do we have to wait till 2030 to see the new Earth? I don't know about the time frame of 2030, but the concept of there's an ascension event is a psyop, right? Like we're waiting for some event to happen. It's kind of a psychological operation. The truth is we're all evolving together, and we're all going to evolve eventually into the fifth density when we learn how to evolve our own genetics, which most races do. We'll be learning to evolve past like hereditary cancers and genetic issues. We'll have technology to do that, and we'll evolve into the fifth density together. You don't get to 5D by saying like I'm going and you're staying. It's like, that is not a high frequency thought. So I don't know about the time frame of 2030, and we do create our own reality. However, there's a common thread that we're all participating in. There's an energetic agreement because we're all still part of the same timeline right now. We're on one positive timeline. So when you read the book, it's easy to understand why nefarious beings would be spreading the lie that we're on different timelines, and it's all very confusing, and we're on one positive timeline. So we'll get there together. And okay. Someone said, did your guides tell the purpose of JFK's quote at the end of the book? I ended the book. There's intel about President John Kennedy's assassination at the end of the book. And I put his inauguration speech, or his inaugural address from 1961 in the back of the book. So read it, because you know, the inaugural address is a message to you. It's about standing up together and about unity. So that's why I ended with that. It's a really good speech, actually. Oh, someone says, oop. Oh, Christy says, hi, beautiful being, loved your book. What is, if you're allowed to speak about this? That was a movement. I don't think I can say it. I put it in the book. Yeah, that's all I can say. I'm sorry. It has to do with the U.S. Navy. Yes, where we go one, we go all. Hey everyone, thank you guys for all the super chats. I didn't expect it. Does Valnek have a recent message for us? Oh, let me see if I can grab it and pin it. There we go. Valnek always says, do not consent to fear. His two common things, I salute you, and do not consent to fear. Fear is an illusion. And it's not natural for humans to be bombarded or for humans to live in fear. It's not natural to us. But we've been prey. There's been predators on the planet, and we've been prey. So all the fear now that those extraterrestrials have been removed, the fear it's really just an illusion. And it's only being projected by other humans, which they are not. We're more powerful if you stand in your love frequency, elevate your frequency. We are so powerful. So there's no reason to consent to fear. Do not consent to fear. Hi, everyone. I love that. I salute you. I'm just reading. There's so many comments that I want to answer. Hi, Janice. Janice is another person. I always see her comments on my videos. Thank you for all your nice comments. It's so nice when people take the time to write nice comments. I try and go through and like them all, but it really is nice. And I do appreciate when people express kindness. And yeah, I really do appreciate it. Okay. Please, on how I can get your book other than Amazon or Kindle, I have a Nook e-reader or a hard copy. Is Nook with Barnes & Noble? Because it'll be on Barnes & Noble this week. So that's another option. And I think that they have I think it's Nook Reader. I'm not positive, but it'll be Barnes & Noble on Barnes & Noble. And yeah, it's being translated too. So for everyone. Oh, this is a great question. So there's intelligence when military intelligence comes out. Whenever you put out military intelligence, the enemy will always put out counterintelligence. So there is some counterintelligence that was put out in the last 2 to 3 years when that movement was active to discredit and to discredit the movement. Lots of crazy things about who's related to who and how. That really took away from the little people, the real information, paying attention to the actual intelligence. So what counterintelligence works in 2 ways. You put out intelligence, someone will completely say the opposite thing of you and completely discredit you, or counterintelligence will, or there will be others that come in and say slightly the same thing, but twist it, and it confuses the heck out of everyone. It happens all the time. So that's why, so yes, to answer the question, it wasn't hacked, but there was counterintelligence to discredit it. Oh gosh, there's so many. I didn't expect there to be so many people. You guys are so sweet. Okay, so I just see a couple questions about when there's going to be disclosure. There is disclosure. This is part of disclosure. When our governments will talk about it, I don't know. But we don't need to wait for them anymore. Would we believe them at this point right now? Would we believe them? Would most people believe them? People that don't watch my channels or other people like me, our information, they might not, because nobody trusts the government right now. So we're not quite ready yet, or lots of people aren't ready yet. So this is also why we have to love and help each other, so that we will all be ready. And then Earth can join membership in the Galactic Federation as well. So we're getting there slowly. We're getting there slowly. Thank you for all the super chats. Let's see. Someone says, do I think millions will die? No, I don't think that. No, if people are saying millions are die, or if people are channeling that millions of people will die, it's coming from the black goo. Okay. There's no reason I've never met a higher density being that said millions will die, go tell all the others. It just spreads fear to everyone. Yes, Pat says that will be brilliant when we join the Galactic Federation. Yes, it's a really big deal. It's a really big deal, and one day we will, and that's where we're headed. So that's why we're being helped build a star fleet with motherships around planet Earth. So it's super exciting. It's super exciting, and one day we will. And there will be disclosure. It just will take a little bit of time. It will take a little bit of time. So yeah. So it's super exciting. Super exciting. There's nothing to be afraid of. Okay. Liba says, could you talk more about the Intergalactic Federation? Have you had any experiences with them? Please, P.S. Loved your book. The Intergalactic Federation I did write about, or Valnek did give me intel about the meetings there and how they invited the space military, the human space military, and corporations were invited because meeting this, they are more of like a consciousness than we can call them extra-terrestrials, but really they're a consciousness, and then they can take a shape like of an ET to interact with people. So, and just coming in contact with that frequency will activate you. And so I know that the corporations and the people present, the humans present, and everyone was deeply moved by the experience. So that's a important part, because I remember Valnek saying that after that meeting, the Federation, the Council of Five, the Andromedan Council had no reservations about the ability for our leaders or the space military to be able to lead us, because they realized that we were all part of Source and we were all connected through the heart. So that's actually one of the most important parts of the book. Yeah. Someone says that's really reassuring. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yes, do not consent to fear. Okay, this is another question I want to. Will everyone go to 4D or 5D, or will some be left behind? No one will be left behind. So first of all, I'm a physical vessel, right? So in order to go to 4th density, 5th density, part of your DNA has to change. And there's not going to be some people that for some reason are activated and evolved. There's no one going to a different planet. If there was, the aliens would have to terraform an entirely new planet, which is a lot of work and resources, and they can't just do it out of thin air. They have to make it out of a star cluster. They have to find a star cluster somewhere and form it that way. So there's no new Earth like that. That's a psychological operation. It also absolves people from dealing with the issues that we're having on planet Earth, right? It's like a nice scapegoat, like, peace, I'm going to New Earth. It doesn't work like that. We're all staying here, and we will have technology and medical technology to help evolve our genetics into the 5th density. Where your soul is going and who's in charge of your soul and what happens after you die, that's a question that I can't answer because I haven't died yet, and I can't say where everyone is going. But that's what I know. That's what I have to say about that. Okay, I think I'll take like a couple more questions if they're in regards to the book, and then I'll sign off. Oh, there's so many. Okay, this is a great question. If these earthly international galactic agreements have been made, why are we still having all sorts of war threats and posturing with China and other countries? So there's parts of it, like the mainstream media. I never watch the mainstream media because do we really know if that's the case? Do we really know if that's the truth? But the bad humans have not been dismantled, right? That's the humans' job. That's the humans' job. The Federation's responsibility is to remove the invasion of malevolent ETs, and then the humans can sort it out between each other. So that would be the Alliance's job and our job to say no and do not consent to treatments or whatever we don't want to be a part of. So yeah, I think that I saw someone else mentioned Audible. So if you guys like Audible, sure, I will look into it. Oh, and Wendy asked a great question. Do you know why you were chosen for ET abduction? There's several different reasons. Sometimes they take people for genetic material. A lot of the time they take them for genetic material, for hybridization programs, because they like to mix humans and other genetics. And sometimes they take people to be a slave and be part of a secret space program. So there's all different reasons. So well, thanks guys for tuning in. I think I'm going to sign off, but I'll work on getting my book on different platforms. And so yeah, there's lots of information here, and thank you for all the super chats and all of you guys supporting me. I really appreciate it. And oh, someone asked, what about to translate your book? There are translations coming out. It just takes a little bit of time. Yeah, so thank you guys. Thank all of you. Oh, all right, guys. I will be back. Thank you guys for participating. All right. Lots of love to you.